Oh man, today is exciting. You're going to want to watch this one. Gabrielle Ritter, she's exciting. So she's a think bigger kind of agent, just like me. And she lives out in Washington State, formerly from California, moved up there, fell in love with it, and does high-end military and family. It's more of a rural area, but waterfront right by her. But she has some great nuggets on doing her business, thinking bigger, so that you're going to learn a lot from this one. So I hope you stay tuned and hang in there.
Welcome to Real Estate Riches, where Kathy Byrnes empowers realtors to achieve the success they've always dreamed of. Starting her career at 55, Kathy built a thriving business that offers the freedom of time and financial independence. And now she's sharing her journey to help others do the same. Whether new to the industry or looking to level up, this channel is your hub for proven strategies, inspiring stories, and the tools you need to grow your real estate business. Join Kathy each week to explore global opportunities, successful systems, and expert insights to take your career to the next level. Get comfortable, pick a video, and start learning. Your journey to success starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with our Real Estate Riches, and I'm excited today for my guest, Gabrielle Ritter, who is out of Washington State. How are you, girl?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Great. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, basically to give the audience a little bit about who you are, how long you've been in this business. What's your story, girl?
I've been in real estate for a long time. I started back in the 90s in home warranty, then title, and then I went into real estate after that. And I started in California because I'm a California native. Then when my son wanted to move out here from California to go to college, we were accompanying him and we fell in love with Washington and we thought, we can make a good deal of money selling in California and we can buy really well because it was just at the bottom of the Washington market. So it was terrific for us. We moved. Let's see, my husband and I also have a little side business. We buy and sell and restore old properties. So it's from like the 1800s up to probably 1940. We'll go to 50 if we have to. And then we do a full restoration. So we find old pieces, but we make it modern, so that you
Ah,
have it's like a kit car. You have
yes,
all the attributes of an older home, but you have all of the modern conveniences.
yes, like a resto mod or a kit car like
Yeah,
I
right,
got.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I love how you related to that. That's cool. So, which takes up the majority of your time? How do you do that's a different business in itself.
Real estate can be very fast, and then you have those slow periods. And my
Yeah.
husband has a background in architectural design. So
Mm.
once I identify a property, then I'm really not involved other than saying, no, I don't like that. Yes, I like that. No, this can't go there. You have to put a tub in. Yeah. When I walk through a property, especially an old property, you're going to see the fact that there's usually a couple of bedrooms, but not enough bathrooms, right?
Hmm.
So my job in life is to find another bathroom, find a place for another bathroom because you have to have two bathrooms for a three-bedroom and so on.
Yeah.
So that's the lot, that's the fun of it. That's what we currently do. And then I step back and the contractors and everything, and then I manage the project. So I'm stepping in and out of the project as we go through.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we talked about you've got a team that you started a
Mhm.
couple years ago. Tell us about that.
Women in business, there's a lot of, that's not to say that the men aren't great in business too. It's just I happen to feel like I want to, at my age, represent more women in business. And where we were coming at it from, there's a lot of young female entrepreneurs, a lot of women in this business who are looking for women in this business. In addition, LGBTQ clients tend to gravitate more to us as well. And we, having a basis in that, feel very confident that's where we want to put our business as well. So we're doing everything.
I love it.
And I have two women who work on my team. One is a newer agent, she's just gangbusters, and one splits her time. And we all know that's a tough way to do business. And then my husband is actually on my team because he's licensed realtor. He does floor plans and all kinds of things for it because we also stage all
Oh,
of our listings too. So we have a huge staging warehouse and we stage everything that we list.
man, I think staging is critical, critical.
Yeah.
So when I first was doing listings and I'm like looking at some of their stuff, or I have an empty house and I'm like, well, I can't at that point I couldn't afford to put the furniture in, but I could do the jewelry as I talked about,
Mhm.
so there were towels in the bathroom. The kitchen looked like it had a wine rack with some empty wine bottles in it.
Sure.
And just little things that gave it some character, some life to it instead of a stark, sterile, empty house. It's just unappealing, and people
Totally
don't have
agree.
imaginations.
I totally agree. And the other thing too is when I first started, I was taking listings where the seller was remaining in the house. So it was decluttering. But
Hmm.
then when we were also starting our restoration project, we were actually furnishing those houses and selling them furnished.
Ah,
So we started, and then there would be times when they were like, well, I don't want this piece. And we'd be, well, it's a great piece. I don't want to get rid of it. And that sort of broadened might as well start staging our listings. And as listings became more plentiful, as you get farther into your career, it just made sense because why have your client spend this money and then if it doesn't sell in 30 days they are paying this rental fee back? And I really do believe that a house not staged is an opportunity lost. I
it
do.
is. It is. The difference between the return that you get for a polished look and, and like you said, decluttering in a lot of clients' house so you can go in and I learned in the beginning, stop telling them all that before I get the listing agreement
Yeah,
signed.
that
Because
is,
I
you know
lost
what I
more
always
deals.
say when I get into that listing appointment and I know I'm going to be living with a client who's got their things, I always say to them as we're signing the listing contract. So now what I'll do is I'm going to come in and we're going to zhuzh it up a bit and add a couple of things and maybe move a couple of things so that it looks less personal. I always try to take it from a looks less personal perspective because a
Great.
buyer wants to see themselves in your home.
Yes.
Doesn't
Yeah, it's
always
so
come out.
true. And today with the AI photography that you can do on a lot of this stuff, it's great for for online, the seduction.
Sure, but it's terrible when they walk in the
Yeah,
house.
it's like what? And I said, you have to be talking to your clients like you're a team. We have an agenda here. You've hired me to be the professional. I'm going to tell you there's just things we got to do. We can put things in the garage if we've got to. I'd rather start packing them up so they're ready for the next house. Because I've had very few that didn't stay in the house unless it was absolutely empty and they were gone. The
Mhm.
majority stayed in the house till the day before closing and they were
Right.
moving out and it was a nail biter. Um,
Okay.
but it's right. I want a polished look. I need it for my pictures. I need it for everything.
Yeah, but you don't always win that fight.
You
I mean,
don't?
right now I have one, I did not win that fight.
Yeah.
But this is the fourth house I sold for her. And
Interesting.
so she just loves what she owns. And there is no way in God's green earth that I'm going to convince her that is not true.
Yeah.
So you have to know when to fight and when to give up. And it's in the end, if you're good at what you do and you're working hard for the client, the home will sell.
Yes, I agree. I think they lose money because of
Well,
it.
I do.
They definitely lose
I
money.
think
I'm
it
working.
definitely influences also the traffic. It
Yeah.
really influences the traffic because the design isn't neutral enough, right? It's
Mhm.
very personal.
Taste
And
specific.
so that makes them feel like, for instance, if it's an artist or if it's a spiritualist, it makes them feel like that's the only person that can live in this house.
Yeah. And the seller almost even feels that way. Like, I need someone that's my tribe
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
because they're
yeah.
going to love my house. Well,
I know.
that's,
And I'm always like, but yeah, the goal here is let's not make this personal.
yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about what I have plenty of sellers who want to know that the person buying has children, for instance,
Mm,
or is going to raise their family. And there's no guarantee. That is not, and also we can't do that in our industry. That's illegal. We cannot sideswipe that. And I wouldn't want to. I
no.
don't, I want everyone to have an opportunity to buy a home. I also belong to group that is Realtors for Homelessness.
Ah,
So we tend, you donate and participate when you can. And it's really, these are important things to be
yeah,
able to. I think the other part of that is if you love where you live and you know the people and you want to be part of it too, it's always nice to look for a family that you can help or
sure.
maybe belong for many years, those kind of things. It's a
Hmm.
good thing.
And it's also true from an asset perspective. You need to disengage. I know you raised your kids here. You got little marks where they grew in there. I did the same thing. It was hard for me when I sold my house I raised both my kids in. It was sentimental to me. And but the truth is the seller needs to disengage. And it's hard.
Oh,
And
very hard.
very hard, especially if you've lived there a long time. Where I'm at, people move pretty quick. They're in and out of this house in maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 years.
Got it.
So you're doing repeats. And so there isn't that same emotional connection. And I think people are moving faster these days, although the interest rate's slowing that down.
Yeah, it depends I'm in a market. I have a really weird market. I have a high-end market on Bainbridge Island, and then we have a more military market in
Mm,
Bremerton and Port Orchard, and then we have a more family market right in the middle in Kingston and Paulsville where we are. But in that vein, the interest rate I think isn't necessarily as involved right now. I thought it would be, but really what it is and what's making our market kind of wiggy is that they've gone from being emotional buyers to being investing buyers. They really
ah,
want to know, what's my house going to be worth in 3 years? I don't want to, as much as I like this house, I'm not willing to lose money on this house.
mm-hmm,
So if I'm going to pay this interest rate, I need to know, am I moving to an area that's going to gain in value? I'm looking at them historically. And I
mm-hmm.
also think it's really important at this juncture that realtors understand their math, that they really can talk capital gains, that they can talk about capital improvements, that they
Mm-hmm.
can talk about the ability for them to get a tax deduction, know their lender. It's much more nuanced than
It
it
is.
was when I started, when you showed people houses and said, hi, have a nice day. And here's,
Yeah, I've got a
yeah,
guy I'm working with right now. He's a builder, so he wants to get it at a deal because he's gonna renovate. And he, interestingly enough, went under contract on a really nice home. We got them off their price to a degree. However, he wants to put a pool in. Now he's going to change out the kitchen. He's the highest price point in the neighborhood. And I've said, buddy, I said, you get this. I said, you're only planning on staying here 2, 3 years. If you start doing that, you're not recouping that money. So it's for you. Are you willing to do that? And
Mhm.
yeah, maybe I won't. And I'm like, you're going to do all that stuff.
You're going to do it all anyway. And then you're going to come back to you in 3 years and say, sell my house. I put in 150,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's the nightmare of what we do, right?
right. Like, oh, buddy.
What the benefit of doing what I do from a renovation perspective is that I can share inexpensive ideas to get them to the look they want
Mm,
without investing 150,000. Plus, I have a team of contractors and people like that who will work and understand that nuance since they've done it for me.
right.
So really, when I have a client who says, I really want to rip out this kitchen, I'm like, you've got soft close, you like the cabinet look, let's get a professional paint job on the cabinets, let's put a quartz countertop on, let's live with it.
Yeah.
And then if you decide in 2 years, this is absolutely the place you're going to plan on living on, and some people will say, I don't want to invest that. It's a small investment to make, and you may find that it doesn't bother you. I mean, I've done it. We've all done it where you
Yeah.
put lipstick, they say, on your pig, and then you eventually do a full remodel when you decide it's where you want to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. How are you incorporating that
Oh,
into your
AI.
business?
I don't think I send anything out without using Chat GPT. I think part of doesn't matter how gracious you are with the English language when you're talking with a client. It's really important to understand the nuance of an email that you're sending, or to understand how you can best appear in front of a
Yeah,
client.
totally
So
agree.
I not only use AI obviously for my emails, I incorporate AI into my website. I
Mhm.
incorporate it obviously into the things that I do from my Instagram. I have a guy who does my Instagram, then he AIs my Instagram. So I'm working. Do I love it? I didn't support it for a long time. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. But you know what? We old dogs, we have to learn new tricks. And because I'm paperless, I
Mm,
am a paperless agent. So I don't, if I cannot use paper, I don't. When
mhm,
my clients, if they're computer savvy, they get a link. If they're
mhm,
not computer savvy, they get a drive,
mhm.
when we end escrow. But I don't supply people with paper. I see, because what happens is they store it or they lose it or they're looking for it. And worst of all, they try to use that home inspection when they go and sell again, and they want to show me this giant home. And here's my book on my house, and I'm like, I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
That is irrelevant for today's market.
Yeah.
So I like to stay streamlined with my clients, and they always know where they can find their stuff, and it's so much easier.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a maniac for anything tech, and AI is a passion. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. I teach it.
Oh, you
Um,
do?
I teach it for agents because so many resisted like you, which makes you behind the eight ball and it's going at rocket speed. I
Rockets.
cannot keep up with it. And I even taught chat. I said, I want you to, they have task features. And I said, I want you to tell me anything that's happening new on this platform every single day at
Absolutely.
6
Oh,
a.m.
wow.
Then talk to me like I'm a fifth grader, explain the process to me. And if nothing new popped up, say nothing today, Kath. It does it every day, 6 o'clock. I get
I
that.
love the searches you can do in it too.
Oh,
That
yeah.
whole people looking for this. And I mean, if you can drill down what you really, really want, you can have a much stronger presence in the market. You really
Yes.
can. You really,
Well,
and
and the,
if you are not getting away from pen and paper and brick and mortar, then you are not following the direction of this industry.
that's
You're not
exactly right.
following it, right?
Yeah. Brick and mortar, problem. I'm glad I'm not the broker owner of those brick and mortars because it's very similar to 2007 with all that weight around your neck that you
Right,
have if you've
right.
got that, right?
I never go into the office. Never,
What's the
never, never,
purpose?
never.
Yeah.
You meet the client where they are and
Yeah.
you have these conversations, and everything you do is digital. So it's digital signatures, everything's digital. You
Yep.
don't, yeah, and I have very elderly clients,
Mm-hmm.
and when they're not comfortable, I can always print out a contract and go to them if that's what they need. And then I can upload it back into the system.
Right.
I don't care. And there
Right.
are those people that I have to do that with a lot, which
Mm.
is fine.
Yeah.
But in the end, they prefer a drive rather than a bunch of more paper that they can't find.
Sure. Um, one of the things that's going with AI as far as our business is concerned is how to be searchable on the AI platforms. And because our websites are going to become obsolete.
I
And
know.
I know. So, and it's the evolution of where things are going, and it's why it's so important, and why I'm on such a mission for agents to help them realize you cannot ignore this. You will be
Mm-mm.
out of business if they're in competition with me or you, and they're not doing AI. We're going to blow them out of the water with what we're bringing to the table. And
I agree. And you see also so many people coming in with, when someone tries to solicit you to a brokerage, we have so many lovely tools. We send out all this and we do all this, and you're like, I got to get away from that. I've got to move faster than it takes for me to send that pretty little card to the neighbor down the block. Now, yes, I live in an environment that's Kingston, Washington's a little bit more rural than
Mhm.
areas. So there is still paper, there's still make, but nobody looks at that stuff.
Yeah,
Nobody.
nobody does. No, I don't do any of that stuff. I believe you got to do it all digitally. It's either a text, it's either an email, or, somehow I'm connecting with you on social media in some respect.
Hmm, hmm.
And I do a lot of things globally. So I do global real estate where I'm doing outgoing referrals for high net worth clients who want to buy in different places or invest in different places around the world. And so I'm building up a database of agents that I can trust, a team I can trust. Portugal's my main thing right now, but
Bet.
Dubai is right up there because especially Californians, they're the ones that are moving a lot to Portugal.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
so,
Portuguese.
oh, you are?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Over my head. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get it.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh,
you may
yeah.
even have people I can refer you to over there.
Oh, I will.
Um,
Thanks.
because there's such a movement. In England, I discovered this in June. England changed their tax laws. So for the high net worth people, there's a 50% tax. So they lost thousands and thousands of millionaires and billionaires last year. They're going to keep losing the balance of them because it was a very unwise decision for the country, but they did it. So I went on ChatGPT. I said, tell me the whole story. What is going on here? So I could learn that scenario. And then, because I see it as an opportunity.
Mhm.
Obviously
Oh, yeah,
they can't
absolutely.
sell those high-end homes anywhere near the value that they would have to another millionaire or billionaire.
Yeah.
So they're discounted considerably. Well, that's an opportunity for somebody, and realtor, buyer, investor, whatever, because a lot of them are so big, they could be converted into something else, like an
Hmm.
Airbnb or,
Sure.
whatever, because some of them are massive. And they're still worth good money. They just need to be converted. And so,
Right.
so
Right. Oh,
the
absolutely.
entrepreneur in me sees an opportunity. And then I said, well, where are they going? Well, they were going to Portugal, Spain, Dubai, Greece, Mexico, a few others that, and I said, well, awesome. I'm with EXP. We're in 28 different countries. So I immediately started reaching out to people that I knew there that were doing business because a
Hmm.
lot of people over in Europe don't have to be licensed. And
Oh,
so,
I know. I have a friend who's working there now. Right.
yeah,
She left Washington and she's like, God, I don't need a license here. And I'm like, isn't that great?
it's
Or
great
good
and
or
it's
not.
scary.
Or good
Yeah,
or not. I
because
don't know.
then you're like, where you're a plumber today and now you're a realtor
I
and
know.
you want to go
Why
show
not?
me a house.
Why not?
Yeah, and it's much more complicated over there. So, yeah, there's a lot of, you need a team, an army that really knows what they're doing and has a support system,
Yeah.
because all the money exchangers, all that. So, and that's what I've been working on the past couple of years to build my army around the world so that I can do these outgoing referrals rather
Because a referral business is fabulous. If you
it's
can live on a
fabulous.
referral business, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing?
That's my mission. So I look to teach agents how they can also start paying attention to their own database of high net worth clients that maybe wouldn't have even thought about you, but they were definitely buying, but you didn't register that was something that you could handle. So they
Right.
don't,
Sure.
so they don't speak to you about it. Not that they're being jerks. You're just not on their radar.
Right. You're just not on the radar.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we got
Hmm.
to change their radar and get our opportunity for those outgoing referrals because the commissions can be very generous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a $49 million island opportunity in Portugal. And one of my agents has got that one. My referral on that commission's $1 million. So I like that a lot. I'm looking for a buyer for that,
For
please.
that land. I have a 6.5 million. Find me someone to buy mine.
Yes. Is it
Here.
an equestrian or what do you got there?
No, it's on the water. It's just Bainbridge Island. It's gorgeous.
Ooh.
It's an architectural piece. It's just stunning.
Ooh, an architectural piece too, huh? How do you mark? Now, see, this is a good subject. When you have a unique property like that, and your base around there could be your locals, but
Mhm.
who's moving to your area? How are you figuring that out? Are you using a
Well, in our area, we're getting a lot of Californians moving
mm,
up here. We also have a lot of international clients.
mm,
So I paired up with, because I am with a smaller brokerage, so we're not
mm-hmm,
international, but I have a friend who works for the agency here. So we paired up and she's doing all the international push out because it's built into their system,
yeah,
which has been fabulous. And
mm-hmm,
then I'm doing the more localized in terms of West Coast, East Coast marketing because
mm-hmm.
I have clients in the Carmel, California, or in
Nice.
Huntington Beach, or out in New York. So I
Mm-hmm.
have more of a West Coast, East Coast base, and she can push the international out.
And both are important.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
knowing, especially Californians moving in to Washington because of the taxes.
Love it.
Yeah, the taxes. So agents need to understand it's not just necessarily your little circle. You have got to expand and you've got to use resources like you just did.
Absolutely. I mean, I know my own limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to carry that large of a product, I need to be able to market that product out there. And I think that also goes into understanding that you cannot get in this business without having some money in the bank,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a
Because it
part-time
costs a
gig.
lot of money to
Yeah,
market a home like that, you
yeah.
know?
Have you ever heard of global marketing agent? Um,
Mm-mm.
It's an independent, it's not, they're aligned with EXP's luxury division, but I found them before they did that little piece. So
Mhm,
a friend of mine that lived in Italy,
mhm,
he said, you need to know about this global marketing because you're trying to market. I had a house, it was a $2 million one that was very unique. And we have international clients coming in here. And he said, you need to get exposure on that home to an international audience. And I said, okay. And he said, and the best thing about this is there's other people's properties that are in that portfolio. And you get permission from the seller through that agent to be able to market it because a lot of them are not exclusive properties for these listing agents in other countries.
oh,
So they're going outside their territory to find the people that might come and not be in competition with the local agents where 10 of them could be marketing the same property. And so
oh, yeah.
it's pretty smart. And so there was one in there. There was a gorgeous island that was in, shoot, I forget, Costa Rica. And just the pictures alone were incredible. So I got permission to be able to market that. And I wanted to show in my social media that I had exposure to other things like this. And what are you looking for? So that it broadened who I was to bring me more business.
So let me go back. So you go to Global Marketing Agent, you register, and then you reach out to the agents who are showing these properties or the sellers, and you get permission to advertise it here because they don't have exclusive agency. Then how do you sell it?
Oh, I get a referral agreement with them.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yes. So, and Global Marketing Agency is a company in itself. So these agents all come and they put their listings in. And so they have an incredible catalog that comes out every quarter. And if you pay to be a member. So I
Hmm.
paid to be a member of this. It wasn't much. I can't remember. Everything's relative. And so anyway, the magazine, which is a digital magazine, comes out, which I like the digital because then I can send it all over the place. I can post it online and they're just
Hmm.
looking at all these homes and they're not seeing who the contact person is. So they need to come through me. And
Oh, I
so
like that.
I like that, right? And
Yeah.
then for me to market a specific one, I
Hmm.
now need to reach out to that agent and say, I fill out a form. You got to go get qualified to be a global marketing agent so that you know the rules. So then
Hmm.
I go to that agent, I fill out the form and say, I would like to market this specific property. And so they take it to the owner to get permission from the owner so that that owner knows that I'm going to be marketing it in different places. They sign off on that. And then that agent and I have a referral agreement. So now I can get the outgoing.
Right. So I can market it and drive it directly to that agent. And if they sell it, that cool.
So here's
Cool.
your house, the $6 million one.
Yeah.
You listed in there and you're saying to all these other agents, hey, I'm raising my hand. Who wants mine? My guy will say yes. And in all these different countries or wherever their marketing is. And so it's a powerful tool.
It
And
is. Very.
people get sidetracked and think, well, that's not in my wheelhouse. Get
Oh
out of
no,
your
I'm
way.
already wrote it down. I'm gonna try it.
Well, I'll send you the link so that you
Oh,
can talk to
thanks.
them.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'd love that. I'd love that. Send me
because it's
the.
awesome. I just did an article. I just did a post in LinkedIn. Let me make sure I write that down. Agency.
So
So
you're using a lot of LinkedIn?
I love LinkedIn. It's an underused but starting to get recognized opportunity. That's where the players play. And I want to run with entrepreneur mindsets. And so 2 years ago, I decided that Portugal was going to be my global target. And
Got it.
so I worked with ChatGPT. I said, listen, I want to write articles, not posts. I want to write 15 articles all about the benefits of
living
living
in
in
Portugal.
Portugal. And so I said, give me an outline. So it gave me an outline. I approved it because there was golf, there was equestrian, there was surfing, there was little towns, there were big towns, there's all kinds of stuff. The proximity, the golden visa, all those things.
Right, sure.
So then I said, okay, we're going to do this over a week long period. And I gave it instructions. I said, so you're going to write me the article. It's got to be 3 to 4 minutes, no longer. So it would do its spacing and all that accordingly. I said, I'm going to need a picture for the article. I said, I'm going to need the platforms where I can go get a picture that would fit the scene, but you're going to give me ideas for the picture. And I also need you to tell me where I can go get a free picture that I could find like that. So I don't
Right,
have to pay
sure,
for it.
sure.
And I said, I want strong hooks in my title because you title your article. And then I said, I want all the way through it strong SEO and I want a strong call to action on the end. Well, if you write an article on LinkedIn, you need a summary post. So I'm feeding AI exactly what I wanted it to do. I said, so now when you're
Sure.
done with that, I said, I need the summary post that also I'm going to need the hashtags because you don't put the hashtags in the article, you put them in the post. I said, I'm going to
Oh,
need
love it.
hashtags for that. And I need you to sum it up where they're going to want to read my article. I said, then I want to have an Instagram post. And the
Mhm.
Instagram post is limited to 1,200 words.
Right.
I said, so create the Instagram post, which I'll share over to Facebook. And so I said, okay, here's week one. So week one, I get my picture. I go to that site it told me to go. I pick my picture. I upload it. Boom, it's done. Well, now I can turn this over to my VA once I've approved it. And I'll say, okay, you go put it every place. And so I did that and I started to get really noticed and connected with Portuguese agents, money exchangers, movers, all kinds of people because they're, wow, what are you talking about here? And you're a realtor and you're out, what are you looking to do? I said, I'm
Mhm.
looking to give you guys referrals. I'm looking for my people over there. So it started to grow. And as a matter of fact, this Saturday, I am going to be a speaker and a summit for high net worth investors that are global. It's a 3 day event.
Wow.
The last I heard it was 1,700 people were coming to it and growing. And I'm a speaker for one of the things, and I'll be talking about global investments that I have, how I did this through LinkedIn, and how AI helped me.
I'm so impressed.
Thanks. I'm pretty
That's a
impressed.
class you got to teach. That's a class. When do you
Well,
teach
and
your
then
AI class?
I teach AI once a month. I've been doing it for beginners. I just moved to an intermediate one that I'm going to do. That's next Friday at 11. So if you want, I'll get you an invite to that.
I'd love to.
Okay,
I'd love
great.
that one. Thank you.
I want to think bigger, but
Sure.
that guy that invited me to be a speaker found me on LinkedIn. He researched all my posts and he said, I want you to talk about this. And I think I have 45 minutes, including
Oh,
questions.
that's a lot of time. That's more time than I want.
I was thinking I could go for hours, but anyway,
Oh, Lord. No.
I love it. And I want to help people start seeing bigger.
Sure.
Think bigger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
do. You got it
Well,
today.
and to be honest with you, wouldn't we all like to look at it from a referral perspective? I mean, the truth of it is, it would be so nice to be working on a referral basis. You know, we all spend time with referrals, but a referral basis is a great way to do business. It's just a great
Yes.
way to do business.
And for me, outgoing is the path I want to be on.
Mhm.
I'm 75. I don't want to keep uh
I want outgoing too.
yeah,
Outgoing path. I like that.
outgoing. I want a life that's balanced for me. And this is teaching agents how to be empowered. It's about teaching it's just about really teaching people if you want to stay in your circle, okay, we got lots of information here on how to stay in
Oh,
your circle.
I want to go bigger.
Me too.
I love that. Who doesn't want to go bigger? And honestly, you should be moving towards the ability to eventually, quote unquote, retire from direct contact with clients and move to that referral basis, which is
Yes.
one of the reasons I have this little team as I'm slowly referring my book out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to be able to not work my book anymore, but let
Yeah.
somebody else work it.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want too. And a lot of agents are so busy in the grind, they're not paying attention, and life is just going away, and suddenly you're at an age. You
Hmm.
know, I didn't start till I was 56. So for me, I had a lot of catching up to do.
Uh-huh.
And it's just been The past 8 years, I've really been on a path of evolution and it's been marvelous.
Very exciting.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
I love it. I love
So,
it.
any other tips you want to share with us?
I guess, my tip for anybody doing this is integrity. If
Yes.
you're out there and you're in the field, it's really important that you are being honest. And sometimes you have to say things you don't want to say, and sometimes you don't get the listing because you're honest. But me, in my position, I would rather lose a client than promise something I can't deliver.
Yes, totally agree.
That's
That's a
it.
nugget right there,
That's
everybody.
just a nugget. And
All right.
enjoy.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. I'm
Thank
glad to
you.
have had you on here so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I look forward to the links. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for us today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you're thinking bigger because that's our goal, and we really want to empower realtors all around the globe. And I hope you found value in it, and you'll see us on the next one. Bye, everybody. So, thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. And let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.